and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The race starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday night. That means it's time for the Midwest Motorsports Road Series to get underway. As you can see, the cars are on track already. The Road Series this season is mixed class for GT3 and GT4s on the track at the same time. Tonight we have a huge field, a total of 32 cars, split evenly 16 and 16 each, GT3 and GT4. We are at the world famous Suzuka Circuit, 3.6 mile, 18 corner, famous racing circuit owned by Honda once again. Provided some great racing over the years, and you can see it is raining. Track conditions are going to be changing at best. Looks like we're starting off with rain. I'm James J., joined tonight with Adam Sondag as always. Adam, welcome back to racing after a week off. Happy to be at Suzuka. How you doing?
Feeling good. I'm glad that it's just cold here where I'm at in Chicago and not wet. It is raining heavily here for our drivers as you see Johan de Roy navigate the uphill river. It's expected to be pretty wet. I think that we'll see the precipitation come down, but I think it's going to continue throughout the night. So we will be maybe as close as ever to seeing a safety car. What do you expect, James?
You know, our Midwest Motorsports Road Series has been relatively clean for the most part. Everybody has a lot of respect for each other, and I expect to see some very close racing. Any contact will be incidental and unintentional, of course, but I think we're going to see some close racing, and it really is, especially with tonight being an endurance race. That's right. We're going for 100 minutes. So we're going to see multiple pit stops, lots of time to make up lost ground. So I don't think we'll see any urgency early. I think strategy will be important, and the biggest thing is to keep all four tires on the black stuff, no matter how wet it has been. As you can see, we're already having cars off track, even in qualifying. Speaking of qualifying, this is race 5 of 10. So after this, we'll be halfway through. And GT4 is pretty tight with the standings, with Chester Miller, Jason Geyer, and Ian Bakaitis in the top 3. And Taylor Montague and Christopher Hopper are going to share the front row as their qualifying sessions are over. So lots to play for here as we're about halfway through the season. What do you think we're going to see, Adam?
Yeah, well, you know, Hopper is the wet weather GT4 whisperer so far. So we have seen a lot of success out of him. Jason Geyer was all over him last week after Hopper got his first win. So I expect to see hopefully some good competitive racing in the GT4 class. It looks like most everybody we expect is here. I know we have a few cars in both classes that will be having pit lane starts, but again, if you're going to have one, tonight is probably the night that it's going to be okay. Avoid the chaos in turn 1 in the wet. You have an extra 40 minutes to try to get things done, make some strategy work, and just make your time up. I think, you know, we're going to need to see people be very gentle, very cautious getting onto power here. It is very wet. Once we start getting the GT3 cars into GT4 traffic, it is going to require a lot of patience and carefulness on, you know, watching out for hydroplaning, getting on the power too soon, over braking, getting twitchy. There's a lot of camber and ways to get in trouble here. As you see, it looks like car's just pushing a little bit, getting through these turns here in the wet. I think we'll see some action.
Oh, it's so exciting. I'm really looking forward to this track. Has provided some great racing throughout the years in all different disciplines, whether it's Formula One, Intercontinental GT, WEC, known for many endurance races as well. One more quick note about the qualifying. I know it's a 100-minute endurance race. Qualifying may not be huge, but the top four in the GT4 classes are all within 1 second. So that's going to be very close racing if pace alone. And this track provides some great racing in the dry, much less the wet. In the mountains of Japan, as Jason Phillips has taken over the top spot in the GT3 qualifying as everybody's finishing their final lap. Michael Odell has completed his laps. He's going to start on the front row unless Shay McNeely can take over. Nope, looks like he's done as well. Jason Phillips puts it on the pole. I did not see that coming. See if Jack Lucas, he's a little bit off pace. Let's see if he finishes his lap coming around 130R before. Oh, he just pulls it over. Decides not to go to the chicane.
Jason's been talking about how ever since Gran Turismo, he has not been good at this track. So, classic Jason to lead his success with with doubts.
Mere tenths of a second separate the top 5 qualifiers from each other as well in the GT3. So everybody's done their homework. I've seen lots of practice sessions in the race chatter all week. We did have an off week, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for tonight's race. And now it's time to put it all in practice as we are having the drivers meeting right now. I'm sure Josh is laying down the law, making everybody aware of the lap 1 contact rule.
Yeah, I know that everyone's been asked very nicely to please make it through turn 1 alive if they are able. So, caution is the name of the game tonight. We're always preaching patience here in the booth. Easy for us to say, but
Yeah.
tonight will be a night to be incredibly patient. You don't want to try to make 2/10 in getting the move done early and end up costing yourself 20 minutes in repairs. So it is very wet as you see it continue to come down here.
Everybody I see lining up, starting on wets, so that makes that decision easy. Adam, this track is one of the world's favorites. Again, how many laps do you have around here? Do you have a favorite section of the track? Technical section, long straightaways as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at like what we have here on this track, obviously, you've got some areas that can be really nice when you have tires up to temp with a lot of grip, but going through the S's in wet tires side by side, that is going to be dangerous. That's going to be rough. The slow hairpin is going to require a lot more patience than normal. 130R, you might need to lift. You have to decide if you want to try to make a pass there on a slower car or race somebody in your class. The chicane is going to be very dangerous. So I think we're going to see a lot of areas where there is risk to make these moves. And we'll have to see if people are trying to make those risks early or late, I guess.
That's right. So Jason Phillips, Michael Odell, row 1. Great to have Michael Odell with us tonight. He's running a limited season with some work conflicts. Row number 2, Shane McNeely, Chase Fincher. Go ahead.
Tim Odell is in the chat watching along.
What's up, Tim? Jelly Belly Odell, he's on the front row. Glad you're joining us tonight. Chime in. Tell us what you think we're going to see. Shay McNeely, Chase Fincher. Chase Fincher in a rare qualifying position, not doing the worst to first tonight. Johan DeRoy, Jamil Gummer, row 3. Good consistency from Jamil Gummer. Steve Hansel, David Stark, Travis Rowe, Justin Thaler, Jason Wahlberg. Great to have Aaron Holroyd in the McLaren tonight. Jack Lucas did pick the Mercedes. John Daniels in the lone Ferrari. Brian Cox and CJ Barzak, Glickner, and Collar Galbraith round out the GT3s. Adam, you want to take us to the GT4s?
Sure, we've got Taylor Montague sticking it on pole. Christopher Hopper continues his wet weather whispering there. Second in the GT4 division. Jason Geyer, who was all over Hopper last weekend, in third place, second row with Landon Sprinkle. Kevin Mayer, nice qualifying here for Kevin. Fifth position on the third row next to Matt Collada. Ian Bakaitis, fourth row next to Ryan Gordon. Aaron Mitchell, Brian Sarton, Pablo Araya, Kyle Ryan, Dan Gish, and Chet Miller. Keith Holbert and John Aslan round out the field. We're following the GT3 class coming up to take the green here.
Through the final chicane. The slowest they'll go through here today. The pace car will pull off, and we're going to go green for 100 minutes as Jason Phillips in the white, blue, and yellow Acura steps on the pedal, and we're racing for 100 minutes. The Midwest Motorsports Road Series at Suzuka is on. Down into the double apex turn 1 and 2. So far, so clean for the GT3s. Everybody's playing nice. Into the S as we go, still too wide. The GT4 start. Christopher Hopper on the outside lane. Jason Geyer gets in front of Christopher Hopper. Two McLarens, then the Porsche of Christopher Hopper. Kevin Mayer and Landon Sprinkle in the Jägermeister BMW. Down at the top 5, single file up front now through the S's. The S's get tighter and tighter as they go up the hill and then finally down the hill to the two Degnas, two right-hand turns before the hard chicane. Before the hard hairpin. Under the crossover bridge we go for the first time. Very tricky setup into the hairpin entry with the little right-hand bend. Everybody's made it so far. Chase Fincher dropping positions down 2 spots. As we ride with second place Michael Odell in the Corvette. In the spray, you can see the visibility going half a lane off behind Jason Phillips. Jason Phillips taking the racing line. One car off of the apex onto the long back straightaway for the very first time in pursuit. 100 minutes. Are you fuel saving, Adam? GT3s, I know we're going to have at least one more stop than the GT4s. Expecting 2 stops for the GT4s, 3, maybe even 4 for the GT3s.
Yeah, and I don't know here if we'll see the track dry out enough to try to go to the dry early. Someone may try it depending on how their night is unfolding, but I mean, you can already see here both of these cars here of Michael Odell and Jason Phillips were getting a little sideways as they tried to get out of those turns. We saw Taylor Montague with a little wiggle. It's like Jason Geyer has made his way around Taylor Montague. So Taylor's had a couple off tracks here, it looks like, trying to keep this car together. But I think that in the rain, the degree to which, you can see here, Taylor just got a little wide there, 2 turns in a row, and that gave it up for at least Jason Geyer to get through. Christopher Hopper not able to. But you're going to be saving just being gentle on the throttle, I think. So someone may decide that, they can try to push it. I'm not sure if people ran enough full stints in wet sessions to know what that saving might look like. So I'm not sure if anybody will go for a huge overcut or not.
All very good points. Hopper and Montague still arguing over second place in the GT4s. Back to the GT3s with Jack Lucas in the Mercedes. Looking awesome with Aaron Holroyd and McLaren above and John Daniels Ferrari. A great 4-way battle here. Important to get a good, strong run up out of here on the way down to the spoon curves.
Yeah, it's a lot of fast cars back here.
Brian Coxon looking for a way around. Jack Lucas into spoon with the rain. It's got to be tricky. Brian Coxon sticks his nose in. Jack Lucas sees him. Jack Lucas using all the exit curbing, even less grip. Oh, he's got his right wheels in the AstroTurf. Can he keep it on the black stuff, Jack? Nice job. It's going to put him under attack from CJ Barzak and the purple McLaren behind. Move Brian Coxon up the spot on Jack Lucas, coming up to that 130R that you spoke about earlier, Adam. Is he threatened to make a pass here? No, cooler heads prevail early in the race.
Yeah, CJ just wanted him to think about if he would there. Not a bad idea to be a little bit more cerebral than action-oriented. Let him think that you're going to make the move. There's plenty of time.
Absolutely. That's what's so great about the Midwest Motorsports League, especially after CJ Barzak's first win last week. Congrats to him. Up front, it's all Jason Phillips. Michael Odell not dropping too far back, with Shea McNeely right in pursuit as well.
Yeah, Jason again running the Dale livery here on the NSX, but not opting to update it for the famous Dale Suzuka livery. So we'll have to ask him about that later. Must have been busy this week. Didn't have a chance to do the AC Delco Dale look.
That's right. NASCAR was here for 2 years in a row, 1996 and 1997. They used the International Circuit, just the S's, and then looped back around after the chicane to go back on the straightaway. Adam, little quiz for you. You know who the winners were? Oh, Christopher Hopper in the kitty litter, pointing the wrong direction. It looks like turn one.
I'm hearing that has a meatball. It looks like it as well. It looks like a. Oh no! Yeah, that almost looks like a electric off-road series car with the amount of suspension clearance in that. So that is an unfortunate way to start, but he's just going to park it and get the tow there. It looks like it's a long way to go. Well, let's find out. Going to argue with us here.
Oh, hairpin. See that? It was 2.16 section of the track, so it was turn one. Sorry about that. We'll have to ask him in the chat. So unfortunate for Hopper. I'm sure that's got to be disappointing on a double points day. I believe he still has a lot to race for, so hopefully he'll use fast repair and get back on the track.
Although sounds like some excitement here for Michael Odell, as I'm hearing someone in the chat. He's still going, but oh wow, that is not where you want to have your car pointed sideways.
Oh, goodness.
I heard a Odell nice save in the on the radio, and I assume that's exactly what they were.
Did he get his right side wheels in the grass there on the turn in? He's got
just wow. I think just a little bit too twitchy there on the entry, but wow, that is a code brown early on.
No doubt. I think his dad got a code brown as well, just watching him on the screen. It's all right, Tim. Your boy saved it, and he's still able to hold on to second place. Lost a little ground, still under 1.5 seconds behind Jason Phillips. All to race for as we're coming up on 1 hour and 30 minutes. So here's a replay with Brian Coxon. Oh, big wiggle. Oh, he doesn't save it. Gets crossed.
Oh.
It's coming out of the hairpin, headed down towards Spoon.
That car has been retired for the evening. That car is unfortunately done. Not 10 minutes into the endurance race tonight. tough place to have that loss of control with the walls being so close there.
Just the traction control is not adjustable in the fixed series leagues. So if you heard the cool down lap last night, that's one of Justin Taylor's, if he was the president of the world. Here's Jack Lucas on Aaron Olroy. Let's see if he makes a move after all the action we've seen in 130R. Adam, you identified 130R as a place for the action. You've been right.
Yeah, I didn't think we would see a Tokyo Drift save there. I mean, pretty incredible save, really.
Putting the power down, these cars hanging onto the rear end. So challenging. That's what keeps us racing. Pablo Araya back out of the pits. Aaron Mitchell also out of the pits.
Yeah, I think they had
repair.
Oh, just a touch from Pablo into the back of Aaron Mitchell. That's where the two of them ended up needing some repairs.
Front straightaway, Pablo's trying to get a slipstream and just didn't exit the slipstream in time. Slightest of touch is all it takes. Traction at a minimum as it is. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Aaron lost grip as he was getting his car straightened out, and that changed the closing speed. Pablo was not expecting Aaron to get sideways a little bit, and
yeah, you have to leave yourself the it's like driving here on the expressway in Chicago. You have to plan out your exit route if something happens with the car in front of you, which is highly likely. Don't want to be following too closely here in these conditions. It's now lightly wet and not moderately wet on the track surface, but I'm not sure it's going to dry out too quickly.
Long 3.6 mile track, 18 corners. Jason Phillips, Michael Odell, Shea McNeely, top three. This is the battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth. Johan DeRoy, Jamil Gummer, in the purple and yellow Acura, and Travis Rowe right behind Christopher Hopper. Glad to see last week's winner, AM Division, back on track. I'm sure he's happy to be in his rig racing again. Let's see if we can watch his comeback. Down only one lap after spending 3 minutes and 33 seconds, 0.37. So lots of threes. Christopher Hopper, see if he comes back. Michael Odell still right on the edge of traction, right on the edge of being out of control. High risk, but going through these S's can really make up a lot of time. Jason Phillips has not put a wheel wrong. All the practice is paying off. High level sim racing.
Jason leading the way with a 2:15.6. Michael Odell on his tail with his best lap, a 2:15.8. So Jason 2/10 quicker there on his best lap. I don't know that anyone else in the GT3s has been under a 2:16 yet. No. So your two leaders, so far and away the two fastest, and Jason Phillips has a 2.5 second lead now on Michael Odell. So a lot of pace there. Jason Geyer continuing his strong run from last week. Looks like Taylor Montague just took the fastest lap away by about by about 500ths. So we are seeing a lot of speed here. Now Chet Miller laying down the fastest lap in the GT4 division by almost 0.8. So tires coming into pressure and temp and speed picking up. Almost 13 seconds worth of difference here in lap time between the two classes.
It looks like the GT3 leaders are now coming into the GT4 traffic. Here's Dan Gish in ninth with
Yeah, he's working John Aslan there. I believe John just got around him.
good for John Aslan to be out there tonight, racing well. Oh, we saw a BMW up there. Orion Gordon, I believe. But here's Johan DeRoy, Jamil Gummer. This is fourth and fifth place. Jamil's been stalking him.
Yeah, I believe Orion's just waiting for a chance to get back on the track there.
So easy to do in turn one.
Yeah, and I mean it's the speed, the camber, the way you normally. I don't believe I've ever set out intentionally to run wet weather laps here at Suzuka. So, it changes the way that you interact with these tracks, especially ones that you are, used to running in multiple simulators or video games across your lifetime.
Kyle Ryan doing a great job of getting out of the way. Let these Jamil and Johan battle it out.
Yeah, real unlucky last week for Kyle. Had a really great run going. Was looking at a win. So hopefully we'll see him able to get that win sometime soon here.
I agree with you. He was also our guest last night on the cool down lap. DJ Barzak and Kyle Ryan, twin brothers. It was a great conversation. You should go back and listen if you haven't heard it already. Great little podcast we had. Kyle and DJ have a lot of fun. Great getting to know them. Oh, is Travis Rowe pointing the wrong way as well?
Yeah, just waiting to get back.
Turn 7, Dunlop. Nope. Exit a spoon.
Had to wait for Justin Thaler to get by. And then Justin Thaler just going to go ahead and give that position right back. You see 130R here.
He's on the brakes hard. Didn't open up his entry very much in there. He was on the wet lane, it looks like, on entry. Once again, easy to say up here from the commentary booth. There goes Johnson's 0X.
Yeah, well, it's the overconfidence of an engineer, to be expected.
He's got it pointing in the right direction. As Shea McNeely has got around Michael Odell, the risk taker. Oh, here's the replay. 130R, Michael Odell goes wide into the grass. All four wheels off, and that's all Shea McNeely needed. He had to be there in the right opportunity with the GT4 battle right in front.
Yeah.
On Aslan Dan Gish battle. They do a great job. What respect. The GT3 cars come through right on time, I'm sure. Shea McNeely is happy to get through those guys. And Johan DeRoy is now caught up with Michael Odell as Shea continues to go through. But there's Johan DeRoy passing Ian Bakaitis in the GT4, staying one lane off. With the spray, multiple cars across the track, there's so much to be distracted, and these guys are laser focused, and the battles continue. Three-way battle for second place, allowing Jason Phillips to pull out still almost 3 seconds.
And Jamil Gummer right there.
Nice.
Yeah, and we say it all the time, it's to where it sounds cliche, but I mean, it really has been nice to see the progression of drivers in here. John Aslan, I know, is now a couple seasons in on the GT4 league, and has gone from making his laps to battling with Dan Gish while working the leaders of GT through the chicane at the same time. I think the progression that we've seen of these drivers within this league has been really great to see.
I agree 100%. Oh, Michael Odell, 2 wheels up. Oh, looks like he's able to save it. loses a little ground to Shea McNeely, now becomes vulnerable to Johan DeRoy. Michael Odell struggling to keep that Corvette pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, you don't want to open yourself up to the opportunistic Johan DeRoy. He's got enough pace as it is. He doesn't need another Valentine.
Johan DeRoy has a pet gecko, calls him Godzilla, racing with him in his sim rig room, cheering him on, riding co-pilot.
Welcome to Sydney Araya. Happy Tuesday to you as well. And also Jesse Coffee. Jesse, we hope to see you back soon. Let us know if you need a letter to your boss or whatever you need to be free on Tuesday nights.
Last week's winner, CJ Barzak, up one spot from his qualifying position. Do not count him out. Oh, broadcaster's curse in the hairpin. A little too much rear brake bias, maybe. And blame it on the rain. Yeah. Aaron Holroyd gets around. Move Aaron Holroyd up a spot. 1 second now, the gap between Johan DeRoy and Michael Odell behind. Jamil Gummer stalking offline, keeping his vision clear.
Ooh, a little wiggle there.
Here comes Odell in the Corvette. Yes, it's very hard, especially in the rain, to make passes through here.
And you can see that standing water there on the inside of the curbs. That is hydroplane territory.
Try to force a mistake. Odell looking for one. Two Degnas coming up. The two right-handers. If we get good grip out of here, then the hairpin. Oh, side by side. Michael Odell around the outside. Two Trailer Park girls. Into Degna 1. Around the outside he goes. Johan DeRoy does a great job of letting him go. Odell puts the power down. Can Jamil get around Johan as well? Johan again playing the long game, allowing that pass to happen.
Yeah, he's just a couple times in a row there just got a little too on top of the curbs trying to get the power down. I think he was compromised there trying to battle Odell. He kind of had been pinched off to where he didn't get a good run there, but you do not want to be on the curb trying to go forward. As you see a spin there, saved nicely by Shea McNeely, but that's going to bring Shea McNeely back into this.
Yes. Everybody's laser focused. We have a traffic jam. Going down the back stretch. 130R, turn 15. Three-way battle becomes 4. This allows Jason Phillips to fix the road.
Yeah, everyone's trying to let Jason Phillips relax by battling and doing it all behind him. Jason Phillips now he's out hanging around with the leaders in the GT4 class with Taylor Montague and Jason Geyer. So
through the entire field in 30 minutes. Well, 24. Jason Phillips.
And then he'll be right back into the back of the GT4 field there as Hopper and Aaron Mitchell are right in front there. So
do it all over again.
Word is that Michael Odell's VR setup is malfunctioning and he's driving with one eye. So that's not ideal. appears to be still able to pick his lines out and follow Shea McNeely.
Hard in the braking, they touch. In the braking zone, they allows Johan Roy in the Porsche to come back inside Michael Odell. Maybe that depth perception is what's missing. Headed down towards Spoon to go. Michael Odell has the optimal line, but Johan Roy cuts the nose off. Let's see. Into Spoon to go. Michael gives him a little room. Tries to get a better exit than Johan. You have to be so patient, especially in the rain. Here, Jamil Gummer's got a front row seat. Jay McNeely gets around Taylor Montague. Will Johan Roy get around Taylor before 130? Oh, Taylor does a great job leaving room. Uses the, wow, into the chicane. Traffic jam. Great driving by everybody. I think Chet Miller was in here too. There goes Jamil Gummer, sticking it in there. Not to lose too
Pit
much
stops for the
Couple-
GT3 field.
Taylor for, yes, Jason Phillips in the pits. Shea McNeely, Johan DeRoy, Michael Odell, Jamil Gummer stays out for one more lap. See if that.
Yeah, Chase Fincher staying out as well.
Overcut time. Pressure's on for Jamil.
Oh, we may not be able to see it now that the day is over for the 64 car of Jack Lucas, but that car has been parked by the team.
Tough break for Jack. We're happy to have him back on track. He will get us back going next week, I hope. Out of the pits now, Jason Phillips stays in 5th place. John Daniels in pursuit of Justin Thaler. 9th and 10th battling it out. Through Degna 2 under the crossover bridge. Justin Thaler in the dark horse Mustang being pursued by the Ferrari. John Daniels. On the GT4 side, Kevin Mayer with Brian Sarton up ahead. Brian Sarton goes for a ride in the sand. Move Kevin Mayer up a spot in the Porsche. Speaking of a GT4 driver's come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
GT3 battle. CJ Barzak and Travis Rowe going around GT4 McLaren.
Yeah, that'd be Matt Collada there.
All right, Jamil Gummer's out of the pits in front of Michael Odell. Everybody about 17 seconds on their stop. So that was all overcut time.
Yeah, great luck on the overcut there.
But just barely. Guys are still glued. That could be in lap, out lap, finding your box. Pit stop time was almost identical. Fractions of a second can move your spot up or down. Easy to get.
Yeah, it looks like Justin Thaler, CJ Barzak, and Justin Kleckner all in the pits right now. Justin Thaler making his way out.
Taylor Montague continuing to crank out fast lap after fast lap. His fastest lap, 2:28.347.
Yeah, put it on the pole and still has it there.
9 seconds in front of second place Chet Miller. GT4 pit stop should be coming up soon. Their pit windows rapidly closing. They're on the very end. Like you said, the rain might save some of that fuel. Don Daniels still has not made a pit stop. Going really long.
It sounds like he's going in now. So 13 laps for John Daniels. The longest overcut. Chase Fincher, Jason Wahlberg, David Stark, Justin Thaler, CJ Barzak, and Justin Kleckner all doing 12. Another wiggle for Michael Odell. Chet Miller continuing strong runs here. 8 seconds up the road to Taylor Montague. No rain currently, but some rain still on the horizon. Oh no. Shea McNeely's backwards. Johan de Roy continues past.
The hairpin bites another one. Oh, there's contact. Just the slightest bit of contact is all it took. It's Shea McNeely's left rear from Johan's right front.
Sounds like CJ may already be in trouble with race control on incident points.
Michael Odell trying his hardest to hold off Jamil Gummer. Jamil going to poke out into turn one. Oh, Michael Odell goes wide into the green stuff. That's all Jamil needs. The door is open. And Jamil takes back third place. They both got around Shea when he was sideways, so Michael Odell got a lap back, and again, Michael Odell on the edge of traction.
Yeah, great point from Tim Odell here. If Michael is able to take the lead here, the VR malfunction is heroic, and if not, that's the reason he didn't do it.
An excuse built in. I don't think he needs an excuse to go around the 17. Thanks, Aaron. Michael Odell got the spot back on track from Jamil. They made a mistake in front of Jamil. He takes it back, swapping places back and forth.
Jamil with the fastest Sector 6 time.
Acura leading Jamil Gummer in the Acura P3. There's Hopper.
Yeah, had another incident. Looks like Aaron Mitchell coming back on track as well. So Hopper and Aaron Mitchell shuffled to the back of GT4 after some excursions. Someone with no trouble today is Jason Phillips. 8 seconds up the road from Johan de Roy. Jason's all the way out on his own right now. Clear air on his nose. No air through his hair, but at least some air on his bald head.
Chase Fincher and Jason Wahlberg. Jason's content following Chase for now.
And see a little bit of sunlight coming through. Track not yet drying out enough that anybody's willing to try the dry tire. We're starting to see some of the GT4 pit stops. Matt Collada, Brian Sarton, the first takers. Taylor Montague, Chet Miller, Jason Geyer, Lane, and Sprinkle staying out. Looks like tires for Brian Sarton. Yeah, I agree with Jesse Coffey. It would be a big gamble to go dry tires right now. I do believe that I don't think we're clear of rain in this session. We've got an hour left. %10 chance of rain the rest of the way through.
Don't even see a racing line, a dry line being formed yet. So 32 cars when we started today. Yeah, it's going to take a lot for this track to dry out. Risk
Yeah, nice big.
Anybody going to take that risk?
Absolutely, absolutely. See the GT4 traffic over the bridge here is Chase Fincher and Jason Wahlberg continue down.
The only figure 8 track in Formula One.
Yeah, just a beautiful facility. Oh no. It's like trouble for Kevin.
130 yard.
Yeah, just right before pitting in there. Oh, that's a hard crunch for that car to take. Luckily, not too far from pit in there.
He's going to need some Advil, though. He hit the inside wall.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily hadn't taken his pit stop yet, so just shuffle in there, try to take some fuel and get those repairs.
Nice job to find the access road. It'll probably cost him a little more, a couple more incident points.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that is, difficult with iRacing and incident points is that the points you take from avoiding something worse are not forgiven by the system. So that can be tough. Sounds like we might have Brian Sarton here after his pit cycle.
Yeah, we've been following Brian a little bit. Glad to have Brian available to work with us as he works his way through the S's right now. In the McLaren, he's made his first pit stop. Hey, Brian, it's James and Adam in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Well, great. We're a lot drier than you are. Talk us through how the race has been so far up to your first stop.
Well, I had some difficulty finding my groove early. Got a few off tracks and basically just decided to play it kind of safe, let people by, and just find my groove as I go into the wrong gear. But anyways, just basically tried to find my groove, and kind of the middle of the stint felt like I was in that groove, and then there towards the end started having some more difficulty with keeping the car on the track. I think it was more of just kind of heating up my fronts a little too much, and consequently kind of sliding through the braking zones. But now the car feels good, and we should be, if the weather report I saw holds true, we should be getting a dry track probably by the next pit stop. Maybe even have to do a short stint to get on the dry tires, and hopefully we recover a little bit.
Right on. Well, you're doing a great job, man. We're really excited to see what happens next. Still a full race length to go. We just passed the 1 hour mark not too long ago. Talk us through the track. Were you able to take advantage of any of the practice sessions that the other league members provided this week? And do you have a favorite section of the track?
I did jump into one of the practice sessions that I think it was Kyle set up. But most of my practice was just doing solo sessions by myself, and did run some race, or sorry, some wet practices, but it's a little different beast when you got more cars on the track than just yourself.
100%. Well, we saw you doing a great job letting Hopper go, and it looks like he had more pace than you. He's finally unlapped himself from you after an incident Hopper had earlier. But, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us while you're on the track in the race. So, Brian, we'll let you go back to racing. Maybe we'll come back to you before the race is over. But, yeah, congratulations on doing great, and keep it on the black stuff, all right?
Thank you. We'll do.
Thanks for joining us, Brian. That's Brian.
No problem.
Brian Sargent in the GT4 letting traffic go by. Got his hands full. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Really cool feature. Thanks, Brian. This battle continues to the dark horse Mustang of Justin Thaler and John Daniels in the Ferrari. As they're coming up on Hopper himself. And now
Ryan,
Ryan,
Dan Gish, Keith Hurlbutt, sorry, all in the pit. Taylor Montague already through his pit cycle, and Chet Miller as well. So Ian Bakaitis is your top car that yet to pit.
speaking of big risk, Jason Geyer, we saw him do well at Imola, is picked dry tires. You can see the tire combination. He's taking his chances. He lets the GT3 car go by of Chase Fincher. The first one to be on dry tires, Jason Geyer. He's got Jason Wahlberg going through as well. Through Degna 1 and 2. We'll have to keep an eye on those dry tire guys. In the S is John Daniels. Pursues Justin Thaler. Looking for an opening. Long, slow. Right-hander. Then up into Dunlop. Not yet. Trying to force the mistake on the CEO of Midwest Motorsports, Justin Thaler. John Daniels using the curbing. Not that time. Nice work. Two totally different lines into the hairpin. Full lock for John Daniels. Steve Hansel inside the top 10. And back up front, looks like Johan DeRoy, Jamil Gummer, Michael Odell. As Jason Phillips made a mistake. Johan DeRoy is an heir to the lead with Jamil Gummer. As they're approaching GT4 traffic, I believe that's Chet Miller. Johan DeRoy in the black and red, black and orange Porsche with Jamil Gummer's Acura right behind him. Jamil takes a better line through Degna 1. Johan using all of the track. Jamil looking for a way. Into the hairpin we come. Johan holds him off for now. Driving the tighter line. The race for the lead in GT3s and overall is on as we're approaching Taylor Montague. Coming out of Spoon down the long back straightaway. Johan DeRoy's going to get Taylor. DeMille might have to wait till after 130R. Going to allow Johan to pull away for a second.
Trying to see what happened that shuffled Jason Phillips back down to fourth.
Must have happened while we were talking with Brian, but it happens. Nobody's perfect. It was not a pit stop. I
Yeah,
would not count him out.
lap 13, he worked his way back up to first as the field pitted. Something happened on lap 19. So we'll bring that to you as we have it.
Thanks, Adam. I know you're doing your best. Really appreciate all the hard work for all the admins that make this league awesome.
Yeah, sometimes after you get done with your day at work, scrolling through lines of text, you get to go home and
Go through lines of text.
shame to figure out what happened to Jason Phillips.
Number 55 in the Acura. I know you're on it. If not, we'll find out eventually, I'm sure. Here's a replay. Oh, there it is. Good find. Oh, all by himself. Where's that? The S's out of the hairpin. Through the hard hairpin, putting the power down to get two wheels off. Just on the throttle too hard. And then turns in. Right sides get on the
Yeah,
grass.
I wonder if maybe there's a little bit of a lift there. Looks like a
Traction
lift.
control.
Looks like a lift, maybe. Just a little bit of a lift, got the weight forward and just unloads the rear, perhaps. Either way, unfortunate.
Johan DeRoy from the lead back in the pits. Lap 22 allows Jamil Gummer to take the lead. New leader.
It's like Jason's in as well. Didn't have to pit after that incident, so damage must not have been too bad, but we'll see if there's anything here that he may need to take.
Repairs. Shea McNeely takes this time to go as well. Johan DeRoy, does he switch to dries? Johan DeRoy's on dries. Jason
And so
Phillips
is Jason
on dries.
and Shea.
Here we go.
CJ's already on dries. Jason Geyer on dries. And a Ryan Gordon. So we'll see here now if the rest of the field follows.
Well, if you had a traction moment on wet weather tires, you can imagine the car control you're going to need once you switch to dries. Just trying to get the most out of a old set of tires with 19 laps on.
Yeah, the weather report says the track is very lightly wet now, so
that crossover. Could have been a lot worse for Jason Phillips. Built up a little bit of a lead. I'm sure that helped. Chase Fincher is yet to stop.
yeah, he did have about 5 seconds extra pit time. Well, no, that's about comparable. They were all about 22 seconds, so it doesn't appear that Jason Phillips had any work for his crew to do in that pit stop.
Change the paint job or something. Unless I'm going crazy. All good. Jamil Gummer stays out on the wets. Not quite dry enough for him yet.
Yeah, it looks like trading paints might have refreshed.
Back to the big ass fans paint. It's all good. It's still Jason Phillips.
That's right.
The
Make
BMW
use-
was that.
Landon
Yeah.
Sprinkle.
He changed paint also. He was in the Jägermeister Bimmer earlier. Michael Odell's on his way out of the pit lane. Let's see.
Yeah, right behind Johan de Roy, still on wets. So we haven't seen anyone else cut over to the dry yet since those 3 stops.
Oh, Michael Odell's got pace with the wet tires. Is he going to need it as the track is now drying? So mixed conditions. This tire choice is crucial, and the amount of time that he needs to make up once that crossover starts leaning towards the dry weather tires. 45 to go. We still have at least one more stop. Jamil Gummer sets a new purple lap on the wet tires. 2:14.6, the first 2:14 we've seen.
Yeah, the times have been coming down for the wet tire.
All right, let's see if Michael Odell gets a run on Johan into the chicane. Nope. You have to wait till after turn 1.
Jamil Gummer now onto the dry tire. Chase Fincher, Jamil Gummer, and Jason Wahlberg all in for their stops.
Odell's the only one that wants to play on wets. Let's see if Chase changes.
2:15.4 for Johan de Roy on the dry.
Chet Miller, the GT4 in front, providing opportunity for Michael Odell as he pokes his nose in. Johan de Roy being patient, and Michael Odell takes advantage, steps on the throat of Johan de Roy. Mr. Nice Guy, Johan de Roy, he knows it's a long race, but that is what traffic will do. Pablo Araya next. Let's see if turnabout's fair play as Johan de Roy goes around the outside. Nope. Through Degna 1. Pablo doing everything he can to get out of the way. Great racing is mixed class racing in the Midwest Motorsports. Everybody's doing the best they can. The ebb and the flow the gap creates as Taylor Montague holds up Michael Odell, and Johan de Roy gets the spot back. Completely incidental. Taylor Montague doing his best. Can't disappear. Michael Odell with an eye patch in his VR, seeing out of one eye. Here it is in replay. Michael Odell in front in the Corvette with the GT4 leader of the race, Taylor Montague. Doesn't know how to go left or right. Johan de Roy says, I'll take that position back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just a little wiggle off the exit, I think, for Taylor there. Didn't get the drive down. Seeing the cars coming there, the lead of the GT3. You can see just the field of GT4s peeling off around
Yep.
the GT3 leaders.
Right.
Got a nice angle and then just a little bit of a wiggle there. Michael Odell expecting to go around the outside.
Taylor was trying to give it to him. Don't forget that the blue nose on the McLaren behind Taylor Montague was second place. So that's the battle for the GT4 lead.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Montague's got to go. As now Chet comes in for his pit stop. Taylor Montague going for staying out. And Chet Miller goes to dry weather tires. Jason Wahlberg and Jamil Gummer Jamil Gummer on dries. I think Chase is due for a pit stop, right? Nope. He's on board. Where did Chase Fincher come from? He's in the game with Jason Phillips spinning, completely shuffled up the deck. Oh no, Chase Fincher. Yeah, 2 stops. 24. So he's good to go. Hopper going wide through Degna 2, trying to let the GT3s go around him. The action's heating up. We still have 40 minutes left.
Yeah, not the number one thing you want to see when you're in your performance Puma underwear. In the rearview mirror, Chris Hopper.
Oh no, Jamil Gummer's lost something. I don't know if that's tires or if he broke. He's gathered it up now. Something happened. Yeah, big spin. Oh, did he go all the way around? Oh,
No.
He's 90 degrees.
What a save.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
okay. Calm
We've
down.
seen some saves tonight.
No doubt.
That's certainly one of them.
Dry tires. That is the risk you take. Jamil was in the catbird seat. Johan DeRoy now seems to be holding on to those dry weather tires pretty well. Michael Odell and Chase Fincher staying on the wets.
Trouble for Aaron Holroyd. Sounds like a meatball for the 73 car. So quick repair job due for that team.
Oh, Jason Wahlberg now getting sideways. Final S's.
Still on wet tires.
He's on wets trying to get the most. That's a really awkward section.
Yeah, hard to say yet. I mean, we're still very much in the crossover. Johan DeRoy, last lap, 2:13.2 on the dry tire. Michael Odell on a wet tire, 2:12.9. So,
Wow.
0.3 of a difference in that lap time, but with maybe some traffic at play there. But yeah, this is what we saw at Bathurst, where it's ambiguous yet whether or not the dry or wet is the fast tire. I think the track conditions are just playing out over the course that, you know, neither one may not be the fastest tire yet. At least the dry is not yet come in to show where we've seen before of 5 seconds and similar faster. So that's in GT3. Johan now lays down almost a flat 211, a 211.1. Michael Odell's 212.9. So now, or no, Michael Odell's last lap was a 214 flat. So now we are seeing almost 3 seconds of pace in Johan DeRoy's dry tire. And over in the GT4 class, we're seeing the same now, that the last lap for Jason Geyer, 2:23.4, whereas the closest laps that I'm seeing in GT4s on the wet tire are 2:27.1. So we're now seeing, wow, now even a 2:20.7 for Jason Geyer. So now we're seeing the cut over to the dry really coming in. So it'll be interesting to see what Chase Fincher and Michael Liddell are able to do now on these wet tires, where everyone back to Travis Rowe is on the dry in the GT3 class, about half and half in GT4. This
Well,
could get interesting, James.
The crossover point's got to be now. I mean, John Daniels, a purple lap, 209.8. Just 2
Yes.
laps ago, we were talking about 212s. So 3 seconds with 1 lap difference. But you can't make it from here to the end. So what do you do if you're Michael Odell?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, with 30 minutes to go and 2-minute lap times, you have to start doing the math to wonder what 2 to 5 seconds over the next 30 minutes looks like.
3 seconds a lap that time as well for Michael Odell. Deficit to Johan de Roy at 209.1, who takes over the purple lap from the lead, Johan de Roy. One, two, three on your screen. Here is Jason Geyer has taken over the GT4 lead because Taylor Montague has come in for his second pit stop. So Jason Geyer with the overcut. Let's see if he can make it stick.
Yeah, the top 3 in AM and the GT4s are now on dries. So we will see how Taylor Montague and Chet Miller's dry tires come in. Shane McNeely makes his way around Chase Fincher. It is now at least 2.5 seconds a lap slower on the wet tire than the dry, so decision time for Michael Liddell and Shane McNeely potentially to come.
Ian Bakaitis in 5th in the GT4 in pursuit of Dan Gish as the race leader. Johan de Roy flies by in the GT3. Here comes Michael Odell in 2nd place. 11 seconds behind. Now 12 seconds behind. Michael Odell, does he stay out? Yes, he does. Jamil Gummer now in 5th after an amazing save. He's on dry tires. Let's see if he can make hay while the sun is shining as he pursues Shea McNeely, who's also on the dries.
Don't look now. Justin Thaler wouldn't like to. He's got a green Ferrari in his rearview mirror of John Daniels.
Just can't shake him. Oh, a little squiggle. John Daniels gets a great run on the exit of the chicane. And this is the time. Now, can Justin Thaler force John Daniels into a mistake? Shea McNeely and Jamil Gummer cross the line one more time. They're good to go. Michael Odell stays out. Jason Phillips, 2:07.7. We're in the 2:07s to a 2:12 for Michael Odell's last lap.
Don't look at the radar.
Is that
Don't look
right?
at your front windshield.
Oh my goodness, what is going on?
We are back in the wet.
And this is on the back side of the track after Spoon. And there's the rain on the front stretch. Oh, Jason Phillips thought it was, I mean, he's made all that time back up. He's made it up to third. But now on dry tires, finding that limit, what a great job of driving, great car control. What discipline it must take. As soon as I say something, he turns into Ian Bakaitis. Ian Bakaitis does a little dance, gets it pointed the right direction. Jason Phillips got to have some damage now, but dry tires, wet surface, the risk too much. But what a dance move by Ian Bakaitis in the 22. We'll watch him through turn number 2.
Wow, a full pirouette.
I give that about a 9.5. He got it pointed the right direction, grab a gear and go. Attaboy, Ian. Your leader, Johan DeRoy, is able to hold on to the dry weather tires in this rain condition for now, as his lead is 16 seconds over Michael Odell. Can Johan be disciplined? Can he make it to the end? I think 13 laps is the most they went, right? 11, 12, and 12.
Yeah, I believe 13 is the most we saw, at least on the first stop. I'm not certain on the second. Most took 11 or 12, so...
Yeah, 11, 12. Gotta get to 24 to go. Oh, wait, that's minutes.
It is raining.
Just a lap. So we're looking at about 4 laps to go.
And Jason Phillips apologizing again to Ian Bakaitis, who laughs it off. I don't expect any dust-ups in the pit lane.
That might be a YouTube short this week. Madness on the front stretch. Who's on dries? Who's on wets? Jason Phillips has had enough. Ian Bakaitis has had enough. They're going to switch back to wet tires. He's going to have to do some major saving. "27 minutes. John Daniels threading the needle between Aaron Holroyd, DJ Barzak. Looking up at Chase Fincher. Here's Matt Collada.
Yeah, just a little deep on the chicane there, watching the rearview mirror potentially.
GT3. I gotta admit, I like Matt's paint with the Moza decals. Christopher Hopper trying to get out of the way of the GT3s. Takes the grass in the hairpin. Good on you, Hopper.
Here comes Michael Odell.
On Shea McNeely, this is the battle for second. Shea McNeely has it in the Porsche. My calculator says 11 laps remaining So you can make it to the end if you pit here. Jamil Gummer says, okay, I'll take it. After getting a purple lap, that time of 2:06.
Not the hardest rain, but the entire track is currently under rain.
You just did a 2:06. Do you stay on the dries?
You know, I might be the wrong person to ask. I like my comfort. We are, in a window of precipitation still. It was projected to be coming back down into 10%, but we're still at 100 here. And over the next while, it's going back up into about 25-30% chance of rain. We are just at the front of this band of weather. So I expect at least part of this track to be touched by rain through the rest of this session here, as we have about 24 minutes left to go. You can see the driving line is clearing up a bit, but hard to say how that develops over the rest of this run.
Hard to say how Johan de Roy's pulled out a 24-second lead over Shea McNeely as we're watching Jamil Gummer. And Jamil is still on the dry weather tires, as is Johan de Roy, as is Shea McNeely. So Michael Odell on the wets, Chase Fincher on the wets.
Yeah, Johan just laid down a 2:05.8, which is about a second faster than Shea McNeely. Jamil Gummer had a 2:06.1. 2:06.4 for John Daniels. So a lot of pace on the dry tires currently. But as we've seen before, all it takes is one loss of control to wash away a dozen laps of pace. Chase Fincher is in the pits. With
Final
20
stop.
left, yeah, you'd assume with 20 minutes left, that's enough time. Steve Hansel in the pits as well. Chase Fincher is now on a dry tire.
Wow.
Tired of looking at those lap times.
Jason Geyer in the GT4, your leader. 18 seconds ahead of second place Chet Miller.
Just a nice leisurely drive now.
Keep it on the black stuff, Jason. Johan de Roy's into the pits, as well as Shea McNeely in second place. Full clouds over the track. Johan de Roy stays on the dries. Michael Odell stays on the wets as he goes across, and Johan de Roy is going to stay in front. And Michael Odell now a complete pit stop behind your leader, Johan de Roy.
Man, this combination, we've still got 20 minutes left, but the rain, the circuit, and the endurance here at this track has really taken a toll. We've so far retired the GT3s of Brian Coxon Jack Lucas, Aaron Holroyd, and Jason Phillips. So Jason Phillips went from pole in a dominating lead to having an incident with the car, and then now he's out of this race. And on top of that, now CJ Barzak has been parked for incident points. So from race winner to DNF. So a lot of good cars not able to finish this race in the GT3 division. I believe we've also lost the 77 and the 9 of Kevin Mayer and John Aslin. So we've seen some attrition here, unfortunately. We thought we could.
This is why we run the race. Rules are the rules. You got to play by the rules. And you never know. It's unpredictable. Michael Odell still holding down second place with one pit stop to go for Michael Odell. David Stark, Justin Thaler on their way out of the pits. David Stark and the lone Audi inside the top 10.
Pace in sports car racing is obviously great. Helps make a lot of problems go away, but the number one thing that, especially in these endurance races, is avoiding any trouble at all that can put your car at risk.
Michael Odell now in the pits. Jamil Gummer, 14 seconds. As Jason Wahlberg works his way through some GT4 traffic.
And into the pit.
And right into the pits. Michael Odell comes out. Is he going to be in front of John Daniels? Yes, he is.
So Jason Wahlberg is still on the wet, as is Travis Rowe. I expect that to change. Yep, that car is up on jacks, likely going onto the dry. Yep, he is on the dry tire now, so it might be an adventurous lap, but the pace difference is just too much to turn down. You can see the cars on the map starting to spread out. The closest battle currently is about 2-second gap that I see. Taylor Montague in third here behind Kyle Ryan in 12th and Orion Gordon in 11th. Kyle working up the inside. Oh, just in the grass. Just a little too much grass there.
No.
Should be able to get that turned back around, but that's a position I'm sure he would like to have. Michael Odell and John Daniels pull into line here. Chip Miller continues as Jason Geyer takes the last stop. Up in the air, so I'm not sure. Still on dry tires.
New dries.
Not sure if that might have just been fronts.
Justin Taylor trying to work his way back inside the top 10 with David Stark. They both should be good to go to the end.
Yeah,
Both
as far as I
right.
can tell, John Daniels will need to stop. Last stop was lap 25.
Jamil also is due a stop, if I'm not mistaken.
Lap 24, you're correct. Might see it here. Yep.
14 minutes to go. You won't need a full tank. "26-second lead for Johan de Roy now.
There's John Daniels to take his final pit stop. Looks like a slew of drive-throughs coming from the wrath of race director Josh Watt, who reports that Chase Fincher is currently running a completely incident-free race, which is incredible.
That's got to be a typo. Sure it's not 10x and not 0x there, Josh? I believe it. Chase wants all the bonus points he can get. Not over yet. Don't think the hat's to victory lane. We're not going to give him the points yet, but
Yeah, I'm not sure Chase will put 0x on the fridge, but doesn't hurt to keep some of that repair budget in your pocket. Surely Pitbull on his way out from Trackhouse Racing, seeing all the costs to that team from destroyed cars over the weekend, didn't make him regret that decision.
Johan de Roy still being persistent and aggressive with his overtakes. Sometimes it's easy to get out of your rhythm when you're not being pressured, and that can really cause you to make a big mistake or be unpredictable for the guy that's being overtaken. So good on you, Johan, for keeping your focus. As Steve Ansel with the top 10.
Yeah, it's a new look for Steve.
It is. Maybe just for the Japanese track. Rising sun. Don Daniels just in front. This is fourth position, both on dry tires. Steve Ansel would love to make this pass before the race is over. Corvette versus Ferrari. Oh, Jason got around. John Daniels around. There you go, Steve. Nice and steady wins the race. Unfortunate for John Daniels. Jason Geyer's race went from great to mediocre as he drops down to P4 in the GT4 class. Here's Jason Geyer going through the chicane.
Yeah, I don't think that was. I think that might have been
That was before
Brian
it started.
Sarton, the car that we saw around in front of John Daniels. Yeah,
You're right. Turn 1.
Brian on the dry tire now.
Ooh. No contact with the wall. That's good. And John Daniels, was he distracted? No, 2 wheels off on the curbs.
Just did the same thing, but on the curb. Johan de Roy is leaving the pits on wet tires.
Taking no chances. But now he's behind Shea McNeely. What does Johan know that we don't know? 9 minutes to go. It's only going to be about 4 laps. Can Johan make up 8 seconds in 4 laps?
The only other GT3 car on wets currently is Travis Rowe, but Michael Odell is in the pits. It is continued to rain, even though it's been 10 to 30% precipitations. We are on the back end of this front, but the entire track is still under cloud cover. It is worth noting now that, we are seeing the fast times that we saw in the dry tire have dissipated. So the best laps that we saw, Johan de Roy 2:05.8 with the wet tire, now times are between 2:14 and 2:17 on the dry. So the speed of the dry has gone away, and Johan de Roy saw it as more of a risk than a reward.
But now he's got to chase Shea McNeely, who is still on the dries.
Michael Odell agreed.
Yeah. On the wets. Watch the gap. 7.5. 7.432. Johan is coming. Is there enough time? .5 as they come across the line. We'll see what happens next lap. Will be 5 minutes to go. Johan blinks, keeping us on our toes.
Coming up on Justin Gleckner, who we haven't seen much of tonight. So far through Sector 1, Johan de Roy almost a second faster. Sector 2, almost 0.8 faster.
Down to 4.6, almost 3 seconds this lap alone.
1.2 faster as Shea gets a wiggle. Johan's going to have to work a line here around Ian Bakaitis, but he is now within about 2 seconds of Shea McNeely, especially after that wiggle.
perfect timing for the tire change for Johan de Roy. This is not his first rodeo.
Yeah, surely he must have felt in the laps that he wasn't getting what he needed out of those tires. Obviously, the lap times have been coming down for some time. Wow.
There's a reason he has a nickname, the Alien. Johan de Roy.
Missed a comment from Jesse Coffee who says, I'd put a 0x up on the fridge for sure. Yeah, I think an hour and 40 minutes of continuous rain at Suzuka with a brief smoke break of a dry spell, I would probably be proud of that too, but we'll have to ask Chase if he's the same. Incredible just change of complexion that we've seen in this race.
Stark difference in what we see out of the windshield. Shea McNeely has no option. Does the gentlemanly thing. Doesn't put up too big of a fight.
Yeah, I don't know if those wet tires just have the grip to hold going that deep to try to hold off and block. See, They just kind of push there, yeah.
With 3 minutes to go, he's going to get this lap and one more. Jamal Gummer looking for Chase Fincher above. Great run for Chase if he gets a podium out of this.
Brett Miller still on the dry.
On the dries. 22 seconds the gap to Taylor Montague. As Jamil works his way around Aaron Mitchell. Brett Miller coming through, but your leader, Johan de Roy, Shea McNeely right behind him for now. Let's see where it goes. Shea McNeely on the dry weather tires.
Yeah, I think when you mentioned Justin bringing up the fixed settings in iRacing not allowing for change in traction control settings, oh no, Shea McNeely's just fighting those dry tires just aren't going to hold. Still 30 seconds back to Chase Fincher, but what I was going to say is just that the GT4 in the dry tire you might be able to make work because the traction control is more powerful on the GT4 than it is on the GT3, so it almost helps in these conditions. But man, just tough for Shea McNeely to hold it there.
Trying to follow Johan. Just the tire difference. Very evident there. Good for Shea to pull off the racing line. Gets it pointed back the right direction. He still has, like you said, 22 seconds between. In the next place, but your overall leader, Johan de Roy, coming up to put Christopher Hopper in the GT4 one lap down, another lap down. Going through the field, John Daniels trying to get one more spot on Travis Rowe. It's happening in front of Michael Odell, who's dropped back to 7th overall.
Yeah, still about 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds faster than the cars on dry is Michael Odell, but with the pit lane time, it's hard to make that work out, especially with so little time left in the session. Looks like this will be the white
No,
flag.
I do have a horizontal stream.
Shea McNeely.
Looks
like
the penalty.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That last
And
loss of control there.
Here comes Chase. They got one more lap to do it. They take the white. All right, Chase is on the chase now.
Taking it easy on dry tires as well. 6-second gap to Shea McNeely.
John Daniels holding off Travis Rowe, Michael Odell. Travis Rowe getting around Michael Odell.
Yeah, looks like a nice.
Michael wants it back. Here's John Daniels on Travis Rowe in the spoon. Travis gets a little sideways offline. 2 wheels off, 4 wheels off. John Daniels, thank you very much. Michael Odell on Steve Hansel. More chaos. Still working their way through GT4 traffic. The S's turn 6 now. 5 and 6. Johan DeRoy is ready to bring it home. Through the chicane one final time. And it is Johan DeRoy, the alien, gets another win, his second on the season. At an endurance race, double points will be great for Johan. Super happy, played a perfect strategy. Here's John Daniels and Michael Odell gets around. Michael Odell back into the top 5. John Daniels not giving up without a fight. They work their way down to the spoon curves, which are 2 lefts. Michael Odell's going to have the inside line. John Daniels takes it over late. Can Michael Odell get around between 130R and the chicane? The final corners, John Daniels gets a good run out of spoon. They do have Ian Bakaitis in the BMW up ahead. This is the battle for top 5.
Meanwhile,
Ian, you gonna
Shea
send it?
McNeely's second.
You send it here? No, too far back. John Daniels plays defense, early breaks, parks it. Let's see if Michael Odell gets a run on the exit. John Daniels plays it just right and holds on to the top 5 position. In the GT4s, it's Chet Miller with the win.
Yeah, another great run from Chet.
Your pole sitter, Taylor Montague, 11 seconds back after 100 minutes. Not bad at all. Landon Sprinkle. I don't know why I keep saying Sparkle. Forgive me, Lando. Jason Geyer. So close. All finishing on dry weather tires. There's Landon Sprinkle crossing for his podium.
Like a Nashville flag on the roof of that car. David Stark brings it home in the background.
What a race, Adam.
Wow.
Amazing.
Well, we've seen strategy come into play multiple times. Every time we've seen
100%.
the wet weather tire come out here in the weather. Tonight, no different. Jason Phillips put his car on pole, didn't finish. Brian Coxon, Jack Lucas, Aaron Holroyd, Jason Phillips, and CJ Barsack not finishing the race tonight after their various starts. Again, Jason Phillips on pole, lost control of that car, and then lost control of the lead. Johan de Roy, after switching to the dry tire, switches back to the wet tire with 10 minutes left to secure the win. Shea McNeely on the dry tire, unable to bring it home with the dry tire, just lost control a couple too many times. Johan's play to the wet tire playing off. Johan de Roy, your winner overall. Shea McNeely second, Chase Fincher rounding out the top three in GT3. Jamil Gummer able to bring it home in fourth. John Daniels holding off Michael Odell for fifth. Michael Odell in sixth, battling his own VR headset all night. Steve Hansel with a great finisher in seventh. Travis Rowe eighth, Justin Thaler ninth, Jason Wahlberg 10th, David Stark 11th, Justin Gleckner 12th, CJ Barzak 13th in class, Jason Phillips 14th in class, Aaron Holroyd 15th in class, Jack Lucas 16th in class, and Brian Coxon 17th in class. Chet Miller winning the GT4 AM division. Taylor Montague on the pole, bring it home in second. Landon Sprinkle third. Jason Geyer fast all day fourth. Keith Hurlbut in fifth. Dan Gish sixth. Ian Bakaitis seventh. Matt Collada eighth. Aaron Mitchell ninth. Kyle Ryan 10th. Chris Hopper 11th. No rain whispering tonight. Pablo Araya 12th. Brian Sarton 13th. Orion Gordon 14th in class. John Aslin 15th in class, and Kevin Mayer 16th in class. Those two not finishing. Wow, what a race.
Absolutely incredible, unpredictable from start to finish. One of the most famous tracks in the world, the Suzuka Circuit, does not disappoint, as we had ups and downs, lefts and rights, and Midwest Motorsports Series does it once again. Congratulations to all of our drivers, including our GT4 winner, Chet Miller, does it again. Congratulations, man. What a race. I know you had a lot of pressure. How did your endurance race go tonight, Chet? Congratulations.
Thank you. It went pretty good. I was real nervous because I didn't get a quality lap in, so I was starting from the back, but I was able to work my way up early, and then I just kept it real straight throughout the whole race. I didn't have too many incidents, and then I don't remember who got into me, but I got into a incident with a back marker when it was kind of starting to dry up, and I ended up just pitting for the dry tire at that point, and it ended up being the right move. So it kind of pushed me to the right call, which ended up helping me kind of get back out front and finish the race and win it. So I think it went pretty well.
I'd say it went pretty well. Double points for your win today. Adam, what you got for our GT4 winner?
Man, I don't know. You've had a lot of pace here this season. It's been great to see these races come together. You didn't get any trouble tonight. What was the toughest part of the evening for you in this endurance race in the wet in Japan?
Toughest part was trying to figure out when to switch tires. I was having a real hard time. Me and Geyer were kind of communicating, and he went in a little early to test out the dry tire for me and let me know how it was going after he had a wreck. So he helped me out, but that was probably definitely the hardest part, was just trying to figure out when to go to the right tire.
Yeah, it looked like he was making speed on the dry tire before anyone else was, even in GT3. So good to have him out there testing that out for you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely incredible, man. Your points lead extends. Congratulations on your second win of the season. And we'll look for you next week as the GT4 series continues on. Congratulations, Chet.
Thank you.
That's your GT4 winner. Out of 16 drivers tonight, Chet Miller comes on top. And your overall and GT3 winner, Johan de Roy, the alien, is back. Congratulations on a great race.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. It feels good to be back. Sorry.
Back and forth, Johan. I mean, I really don't know where to start. It looks like the first half of the race was just kind of managing your position, trying not to give up spots, but not really trying to push too hard. Is that right?
Yeah. For me, the first half was clearly the hardest part of the race because I didn't have pace. It was really hard for me to find the good trajectory. But yeah, I keep in mind the race is long. It's not over yet, and if even if I don't have the pace right now with the rain, I might having it with the dry tire. So yeah, it was that for the first part of the race.
You had some really close battles too. What was it like in traffic with visibility? Is there any challenging moment that really sticks out in your race? The
Oh
entire
yeah. When the track dry up a little bit and we were on dry tire, we have like a really small trajectory that was faster in dry, but at the moment you go a little bit out of this trajectory, you don't have grip at all. So with the traffic, it was really hard to manage. Like, okay, do I go now on the outside to overtake him? And yeah, it was really hard. I've made a couple of mistakes with that and go a bit on the grass, return on the track, and yeah, just try to pass the traffic a little bit uh, like longer after.
Johan, you came in right at the end with about 10 minutes to go and switched back to the wet tire. What were you
Yes.
seeing? What were you seeing that made you make that call? It ended up playing
I,
into the win, I
yeah.
think. Were you seeing your times come down, or were you having trouble keeping the car straight?
Yeah, my times was coming a bit down. My spotter said to me that it was a little bit heavier rain, and the session was declared wet. So I knew that at this moment the dry tire was a little less faster, but not that much. But
Mhm.
I know by experience that the dry tire on a wet track is really dangerous. It might be a little bit faster if you have a big gap with the person
Mhm.
behind, but the risk is too big. And I just said I have a quite a good gap, so I will change, and I hope to stay in this condition. And some things happen. Like to others, it's really
Yeah.
bad to say it. It doesn't like what I wish for, but from
Yeah.
my side, yeah, it was the safer option. Might not be the fastest, but the safer. So I hope for this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great decision. I think it ended up securing the finish there in the end. Michael Odell opted to go for the change as well. So great run there. Great play on the change. James, back to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
all good. Johan, your second win of the season after Austria and then a third place the last race at Imola. Um, your points continue to add up after double points today. What are we going to see next week at Monza? Are you excited about the Monza track?
Yeah, I like Monza. It's a really fast track. I raced there a lot. I've done a 24-hour there last year on the LMDH. But yeah, I'm pretty confident for Monza, and I'm I hope to have a good race with everyone.
Yeah, well, you did a great job today. I know it wasn't a flawless race, but at the end of the day, you get all the points and the top step of the trophy, top step of the podium, the trophy girl. You get to take it all home. Congratulations, Johan, on a great race today. Thank you for providing entertaining racing once again.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it.
That's Johan DeRoy. English is his second language. You would never guess. He does a great job holding everything down, and we appreciate all of the listeners tuning in. Man, if this is what we get from Midwest Motorsports, we're halfway through the season now. The second half is going to be all to play for: Monza, Laguna Seca, VIR, and more. Don't forget to tune back in. We'll be back at Monza next week. Adam, thanks for a great race. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we will hopefully be dry and warm again. We'll see everyone next week. Stay safe out there.
I think we're all looking forward to some sunny weather. Until then, see you next week, 7:25 race start. For all the Midwest Motorsports admin that make this league great, I'm James J. Adam Sondag, Josh Watt running the broadcast, reminding you to stay in your lane.
And I approve of this message.